I want to fight Anderson Silva. Net, he doesn't want it more than me. Not even Tommy Fury or KSI that night was able to beat me.
I won the Golden Glove state championship last year. Me and D, if we do fight, it's gonna be a banger. Somebody getting knocked out.
I know that I can beat Daily Perales. If he wants to get there and he wants to fight the champ, he's gonna get beat up by the champ.
Welcome, Misfits Boxing fans. I'm Ben the Bane Davis, joined by my co-host BL, and we're excited to get into today's installment of Misfits News. It's an action-packed show as always. Let's dive right into it. BL, how are you?
I'm very well, Ben. Well, we have an exciting lineup for today. In store, we have Misfits MMA making an offer to Ryan Garcia and Dylan Dennis in an MMA match. MVP had released some controversial rankings, which Jake Paul then later corrected. Gib hinted at his return to boxing, and the highlight of the day, Sean Strickland beat up Sneeko. So let's start off with that, Ben.
Everybody told Sneeko this was a bad idea. Jake Shields told him it was a bad idea. Sean Strickland is notorious for being a gym bully, a guy who only spars hard. My understanding is that this is what Sneeko and his team wanted. Why? Because you get an unbelievably viral clip that gets extreme engagement like it did. So props to Sneeko for getting in there. Honestly, I think he's improved a bit. It seems like he is pretty committed to boxing, but when you spar a guy like Sean Strickland, that's what's going to happen to most people.
Well, someone that disagrees with you, Ben, is Jake Paul. He's actually saying that Sean Strickland took it too far, and now he's offering Sean Strickland $1 million to spar him. Jake Paul does this a lot, but what do you make of that, considering Jake Paul has done this himself multiple times?
Yeah, well, the whole back and forth, Sean said, yes, I'll do that, and then Jake Paul immediately tweeted out, oh, you're running just like Patty Pimblett, and was immediately corrected by the community notes. So I think it's just Jake making noise. It's just Jake banging the pots and pans, which, again, is what you need to do. This whole moment is just built for engagement for all parties, and that's Jake Paul getting his own slice of it. Talking about mixed martial artists, Misfits has officially sent an offer to Ryan Garcia to face Dylan Dennis inside the octagon. BL, what is your prediction for that matchup if it materializes?
I tell you something, Ryan Garcia is a phenomenal boxer. You know, I can't take anything away from him there. But when it comes to the cage, as soon as Dylan Dennis gets his hands on him, it's done.
Inside the cage, it's really a shark tank, and you're in there with a great white and Dylan Dennis. Now, I say that with the knowledge that Dylan Dennis absolutely sucks at like holistic combat sports. You know what I'm saying? But if it hits the mat, it is pretty much game over.
Well, talking about MMA fighters, I do need to bring up about a crossover that was rumored to fight KSI, Jorge Masvidal. Now, he was spotted at the Super Bowl looking, I don't know how to, looking like a Peter Griffin, to be honest with you. And now, what's up with that?
Yeah, it was Jorge Garlic Bread Masvidal instead of Game Bread that night. But I have seen this. I've seen some people saying that it was just a bad angle. It was the shirt that made him look, but I don't know. I mean, him versus KSI, it has a lot of interest. I'll maintain this. It doesn't have a story or a build-up yet. So maybe that gives him time to lose some pounds.
Well, I was going to say, if this is the size he's currently at, do we realistically think that fight's going to happen anytime soon? I don't think so. So who is going to be that next opponent for KSI? I actually cannot tell you right now.
I'll say Slim. I'll maintain that as well.
We're going to maintain this.
I'm not going to watch. You guys can watch these Misfits news episodes. I'm not going to walk back my opinions from week to week. It's got to be Slim. And hey, maybe Chase Demore versus Jorge Masvidal makes sense now.
Well, familiar face we've seen dropping hints to making a return to the boxing ring is Anison Gibb. After engaging with Jake Paul with a back and forth, he's saying that he could possibly beat Jake Paul if they were to fight nowadays at his weight. Now, what do you make of that? KSI actually agreed with Anison Gibb. Do you agree with him?
Well, it's hard when you get knocked out in the first round to then go to that same person a few years later and say, oh, the result's going to be massively different. No disrespect, but I do believe that Jake Paul would handle Gibb in probably the same fashion. In other news, MVP has unveiled their official rankings, but seems BL that the public reception's been less than favorable. Let's take a look at their current rankings and give me some thoughts on it.
At number 1, we have Slim. Number 2, we have Gibb. 3, KSI. 4, Dean the Great. And 5, Sok Pappy. Now, I think this is an insult to the crossover boxing world, and I think a lot of the people agree with me here. Now, what do you make of that current standing?
Yeah, I think guys like Dean are way too low. I feel KSI should probably be at least number 1 or number 2. I love the respect that they're showing to Slim. Again, I highly tout this guy. AT, noticeably absent. You know, I will say this. I feel like Anthony Taylor, he is the champ. He has beaten Sal Poppy, King Kenny. So maybe AT should take spot potentially. Jake Paul's top 3 kind of echo some similar thoughts. Slim, Dean, and Anthony Taylor up there in that respective order. KSI noticeably absent.
Well, Ben, who better to guide us through these rankings than the number 3 and the current champion, Anthony Taylor?
We haven't seen you since the Prime card, man. Tell us about some of the big developments in your life since that night on October 14th.
Oh man, I just been chilling, getting fat, relaxing, spending time with my wife and my kids and my dogs. I got back in camp 2 weeks ago. Overall, man, I've been great. I just been chilling.
AT, let's talk about that performance. You fought against King Kenny. How do you reflect on how you performed that night?
Going into that card, I knew mentally I was going to win because he doesn't want it more than me. Nobody that night could beat me. Not even Tommy Fury or KSI that night was able to beat me. Not Slim, no Saw Poppy. Just my mental every night going into the fight, my mental is top.
Well, there's a lot of criticism going behind your performance, AT. I'll be honest, a lot of people saying it's a hug fest, this and that. So can you talk me through what you make of these critics on Twitter, etc.?
As long as you're winning, what's the problem? People talk about Floyd Mayweather running. You can say I'm hugging, but I'm winning. I'm hitting Kenny more than he's hitting me. I'm going to do what I got to do to win. The same people who said I'm hugging were the same people who said I was going to get knocked out by Kenny and Saul.
Anthony, I want to take your attention to the number 1 contender, Gabe Silva. What do you make of his last performance against OJ Rose?
He sucked. This is going to be an easier fight than King Kenny. Gabe Silva thinks he's Floyd Mayweather. Look how skinny he is. He has no power behind his punches. He's just a slick boxer. When you're coming to fight me, I'm stronger than a lot of these fighters. Majority of every fighter I fight, I'm stronger. I'm coming here to get it. I'm coming here to knock him out in front of his daddy and his family. And I want them to see a dead body on the floor. Look, man, I'm looking to fight his daddy next. I want to fight Anderson Silva next. And I'm making that clear. If we go anywhere, if it's in California, if it's in Texas, or if it's in anywhere, that is my next opponent after Gabriel Silva. And Anderson Silva, I'm calling you out next. After I knock out your son, I'm coming to knock your ass out too, since you want to keep fighting. I am not Jake Paul. I will hurt you, old man.
Well, I just want to rewind things back to one of your biggest critics, Anthony Taylor. And that man is Bailey Perales. He is in King Kenny's corner and he's been calling you out left, right, and center. I've seen him training as well. Is that a fight you want to entertain?
Absolutely. And if I do that fight, I want it in the UK. I know that I can beat Bailey Perales. If he wants to get there and he wants to fight the champ, he's going to get beat up by the champ. I told him, look, man, you got till the summer to get in shape and get ready. I'm not going to take no excuse of him saying, oh, well, it took me a while to get in shape. Nah, bro, I fought King Kenny in October. You have almost a year to get in shape, about 8 months to get in shape. So that is a fight I definitely want to entertain after Gabriel Silva, and potentially if I fight Anderson Silva, that would potentially be the next, because I'm going to beat you up, Daly, and I'm going to make it look easy.
Well, AT, you were promised the winner between Gabe Silva and OJ Rose. And obviously, Gabe Silva came out and won that fight. Can we expect this to be your next fight? Can you give the fans any hints whatsoever?
It's not up to me. I can't pick and choose who I fight. I'm told who I'm fight through my number 1 contender. And if Gabe is my number 1 contender, then Gabe is the guy I want to fight next. I'm not going to focus on his dad. I'm not going to focus on Daly or Slim or KSI. If Gabe is my number 1 contender fight, I'm going to focus on Gabe. Like I said, I can hug if I want to. I can brawl if I want to. I can make it dirty, grimy. I can throw little elbows, throw a little crotch shot in there. Oh, yeah, I'm going to take my good 1 warning. I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to give my 1 warning.
Sean Strickland went viral this week for beating up Sneeko at the Apex in Vegas. As a pro fighter, as a guy who competed at Bellator at a pretty high level in mixed martial arts, what is your take on these streamers getting in there?
All respect to Sean. I respect that. Hey, I'm on Sean Strickland's side. Hey, a lot of people don't know. Sean used to train with me at my gym. Sean knows me well. We all know each other very well. Look, man, Sneeko signed that waiver. Once you decide to go in that ring, you better back your shit up. I don't care if he's an influencer. I don't care if he's a cop. I don't care if he's an electrician or a teacher or a nanny. Once you step in that ring, you are on your own. There's no sympathy. This generation is soft. YouTubers like Neon, soft, simps. Oh, my girl left me. She cheated on me. Bro, you're soft. You're a simp. Do some push-up. That's why I'm respecting them. But better Derek is doing because he's out there getting it. He's doing his push-ups.
Shut up, dude.
Whoa,
Shut
whoa,
up.
wait,
No,
can't you there?
watch your
No,
mouth.
Anthony,
You better watch your mouth.
Hey,
stops.
He's calling people out.
Hey, AT, pipe down. All the kid's doing is getting tuned up in the parking lot by a drunk Steiny and struggling to lift the bar.
But the thing is, even though he's getting his ass whooped every time, he's still standing on business.
Isaac Taylor, man, 2-0. When is he coming back? Give us an insight into when Cash Taylor can make his return.
So as far as Isaac, he's 2-0. You know, right now we're trying to figure some things out. You know, not sure what's the exact date, but he will be fighting in Dubai. And I can't say so much about it, but definitely April. I would like for Isaac to fight on this card, you know, if I do fight soon, or, you know, I would like to see him fight Paul Bamba. All these guys like Aaron Chalmers, Paul Bamba, they're all calling me out. If you want to fight the number one guy, fight my brother.
Who would you want to see Slim fight next? Who would be that person that you would want to put Slim up against?
You see how every time I comment, he doesn't want to reply. He ignores my message. Bro, you see me. You see my message. You know why I tag you. I'm the number ranked 5 guy in the pound for pound list. But you want to ignore me. Look, bro, Idris Virgos call me out all the time. I reply. KSI calls me out. I'll reply. I'm just that one guy he does not want to reply. That's a dub.
Misfits MMA. Mams Taylor has really emphasized that mixed martial arts is coming to the Misfits universe. Your last MMA bout was January of 2020. Do you have any interest in maybe getting back into the 4-ounce gloves?
Let's say they had me fight Tyron Woodley, right? Bro, there's a big chance I'm going to be fucked up for a long time. And this ain't though Misfits where, okay, you get your little 30-day suspension, you'll be able to get on another card. Bro, if I tear my ACL or MCL, I'm done for the whole year. And that's the big risk you're taking when it comes to MMA. You can break something quicker than you will in boxing.
Now, before we sign out, AT, I want to give you the opportunity to be able to tell the fans anything they can expect to come from AT coming real soon.
The king of Misfits is coming. And just expect fireworks, knockout, call out. Trust me, you ain't got to worry about the hugging. I don't need to hug this guy. This guy has nothing for me. Y'all have nothing to worry about me hugging this guy. This guy has no bones for me to hug. Why am I hugging a skeleton? So you don't have to worry about that. I'm looking to knock him out.
Anthony Taylor really gave us the latest there. I can't wait to see how this card unfolds. But Ben, what do you make of that fight that Anthony Taylor will be fighting Gabe Silver, rumored to be?
Yeah, I mean, as a guy who stepped in there with Gabe, I am torn. I'm torn because I like AT. He's a great dude. But my loss to Gabe Silva continues to age beautifully. So part of me wants Gabe to knock Anthony Taylor out as quick as possible, just so I get to say, hey, no shame in losing to this now champion. But I do think that Anthony Taylor's skill set is going to prove problematic, right? The clinching, the suffocating pressure. It's something that Gabe faced with OJ Rose a little bit, but not to the extent that AT is going to bring in there. So my prediction right now, Anthony Taylor retains. And talking about statements, Derek from Better Media, still a weasel. But BL, as you're aware, we have a big tournament on the horizon. And to shed some light on the latest developments, we've invited the dark horse of the competition himself, Lil Cray Cray, the Street Beefs icon, in to give us a scoop. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming inside the Misfits News booth, it is the dark horse of the lightweight tournament, Lil Cray Cray, the Southpaw sensation. How are you?
Yes, sir. I'm doing good, man. Thank you guys for having me on here. I'm excited.
We're very curious about how this opportunity arose. Tell us about competing on Misfits and what this means to you.
This means a lot. It's going to be a big step up for me, competing in the big stage. I've been doing boxing like almost my whole life, coming from street boxing, amateur boxing. But yeah, this is going to be another level stepping into the big stage, and I'm ready to show out. I can't wait.
Were you a big fan of influencer boxing before this?
Yeah, I've been a big fan, right? Ever since like KSI hop on and stuff, I was like, I definitely want to get on one of those cards one day. So when I see the Misfits started happening, I was like, my opportunity.
For those who may not be familiar, could you share some of that extensive boxing background, including that Golden Gloves championship?
Yeah, my background, fighting background, came from I started off with like street boxing and stuff on YouTube because it was doing a lot of views and stuff. I also competed amateur, a lot of amateur. I won the Golden Glove state championship last year and competed national before. I got over like 26 amateur fights right now with 4 losses in my amateur record, USA Boxing.
Well, how do you think this background is going to match up against the skill sets of your opponents? Do you think that experience is going to really help you in this tournament?
Yeah, I feel like it's going to help me a lot because I had to fight with a lot of like different type of style of boxing. So I'm going to know what I'm doing in there. Like, I'm ready. I can't wait.
I'm curious, Lil Cray Cray, to get into this fight camp specifically. Obviously, with the tournament, you're maybe not sure of like the first, second, third guy you're going to face. So what's this fight camp been like?
It's been great. I've been in shape. Like I stay in shape. Like I've been training for like I've been in the gym, so I've always been in shape. But I already know who my opponent is. All I know, he in trouble, man.
I love it. And I'm curious, 12 days ago, you put up a video and it looked like there was a underground belt on the line. Is that the typical for your fight camps? Just a lot of hard sparring, getting rounds in?
A week ahead of that, I was in Puerto Rico. So when my flight came back, it was in New York City. And the day I came back, they had a little underground boxing match. They saying Mighty Mouse was gonna be there, so I was like, I bet I pull up. They got me a boxing match for a little belt. When I see that belt, I was like, no, I'm gonna turn up. So I had to get it. Had to do that little boxing match for the YouTube content.
Well, look,
Hell
Cray
yeah.
Cray, I'm curious. What's been your toughest challenge as an upcoming boxer?
It's not really hard for me. I just stay in the gym, train hard, work hard, and I believe in myself.
And what's inspired you to make that transition to what you're doing now into Misfits Boxing?
I feel like I've been doing like boxing for a long time now. I feel like I'm physically, mentally ready right now. So I want to step up my boxing career and really show out.
It's about time to see you on the big stage. I'm curious, talking about now this lightweight tournament, turning the gears back towards it. What are your thoughts on some of the opponents that you could be facing?
I'm very excited. Like they got a lot of different style. Like I can't wait. I see Baby Hulk on there. I used to watch him on Street Beefs and shit. So like, hopefully they pick me up with that. I want to fight him too. Like I feel like it'll be a good match, me and him.
Now, I want to dive a bit deeper. For the people that don't know, how many fights have you actually had? I don't think me and Ben could even find out. We were doing the research, but there's been so many fights. How many has it been in total?
In total, at least 80, I think, with underground boxing, like street boxing.
Damn.
Yeah, 80 fights.
Do you remember the first fight?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. My first amateur fight, I got my ass beat. My first fight, they lose. Yeah, my first fight amateur.
I love it. How did the Street Beefs come about? Because that's such a unique organization. Talk to me more about competing within that.
Street Beef was dope. I just hit them up on Instagram and stuff, and they got me a match and shit. And I just pull up, do some content, get some good work and shit.
Now, look, Craig, the general consensus is that Waleed Sharks is the favorite to win this competition. What are your thoughts on that?
Now I peeped that a lot of his fans, my comments saying Willie's gonna beat me, but I don't think it's gonna happen, bro. He fought Dean twice and he couldn't get the job done. Like I like when the first time he fought Dean, I thought he was gonna win, but it showed that like his toughness is not there. He's nice, but
Well, the current champ of the division is Dean the Great. If you were to face him in that final, what do you make of him?
I give Dean a lot of respect. He proved me wrong because as I say, like before I choose Willie over him in the first fight, and he definitely showed that he got the heart and toughness. So me and Dean, if we do fight, it's gonna be a banger. We're gonna stay in there. It's gonna be a brawl. Somebody getting knocked out.
I love it. Look, Craig, before we let you go, any last things that you want the people to be aware of or anything that you want to say?
Yeah, watch out, man. Misfit Lightweight Tournament. I'm coming to take over, wipe out this division. Like I said before, man, we're coming to take over.
Well, it's good to hear from Lil Cray Cray. I'll tell you something, Ben. We haven't heard of many of the fighters, but something that really stood out to me in that interview, 80 amateur fights. That's something that not many of these fighters have had. Now, I'm interested to see him versus Waleed Sharks. I think that's going to be one of the most competitive fights on the tournament. Well, Ben, what an episode. We had the privilege of hearing from the champ, Anthony Taylor, and one of the tournament favorites, Lil Cray Cray. Now, don't forget to like, subscribe, join us every Tuesday and every Thursday. Misfits News. We will bring you the latest updates of the crossover boxing world. We'll see you next week.